other news. Today we are going to rank the top 10 hurricanes since 2000. I am on location in Mexico Beach. This town was destroyed by a hurricane we will see later in the ranking. Let's get started with number 10. To start our ranking, we have Hurricane Ian at number 10. Hurricane Ian was the third costliest weather disaster worldwide, and it was the deadliest Florida hurricane since 1935 Labor Day hurricane. Its max wind speeds were 160 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 937 millibars. It had 161 deaths, 156 of them being in the United States. It had over $112 billion in damage, and over 9 million people lost power in the United States. Checking in at number 9 is Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey was a Category 4 hurricane that stalled over Texas with devastating flooding. Harvey was tied with Katrina as the costliest U.S. hurricane. Its max wind speeds were 130 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 937 millibars. It had 107 deaths and $125 billion in damages. It hit the Houston metro area, saw record rainfall and flooding, and estimated 300,000 structures and 500,000 vehicles were damaged or destroyed. And the storm spawned over 53 tornadoes across 6 states. Up next on our list at the number 8 spot is a recent Hurricane Milton from 2024. Hurricane Milton was the second most intense Gulf storm behind Hurricane Rita. It was the fifth most intense Atlantic hurricane on record. Its max wind speeds were a crazy 180 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 897 millibars. It had 35 deaths and $34.3 billion in damages, and it had 46 confirmed tornadoes in Florida. Although it did not impact the U.S., our number 7 storm still earned its way on the list for what it did in the Caribbean. Up next is Category 5 Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Irma was a powerful Category 5 hurricane with major impact to multiple countries. It was the second strongest Atlantic hurricane at landfall, and its max wind speeds were 180 miles per hour, and its lowest pressure was 914 millibars, and it had 134 direct deaths and $77.2 billion in damages, and it impacted more than 10 countries that were severely impacted by Hurricane Irma. Number 6 is Hurricane Michael, which devastated the Gulf Coast of Florida in 2018. It was the first Cat 5 hurricane at landfall since Hurricane Andrew in 1992. It was the lowest pressure of U.S. landfall since Hurricane Camille in 1969. It had max wind speeds of 160 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 919 millibars. It had 74 deaths, with 59 of them being in the United States. It had $25 billion in damage, and winds increased over 60 miles per hour in a 48-hour stretch, leading to landfall. This increase in winds also led to a massive increase in wave development. I visited where Michael made landfall for a special report on the storm surge. The storm surge of Hurricane Michael is what led to the destruction of Mexican Beach. The storm surge here reached 14 feet above ground. That would be the same as almost 4 of me stacked up. Behind me, you can see where the storm surge was too much for these houses to withstand. Sometimes it's not about the wind speed to make a legendary storm. Even though our number 5 hurricane had the lowest wind speed on the list, Sandy still created enough trouble to be labeled a superstorm. Hurricane Sandy is also known as Superstorm Sandy. It is the largest Atlantic storm in diameter. It affected over 8 countries, but Sandy will be most known for how it impacted parts of America not used to seeing experiencing hurricanes. Its maximum speeds were 150 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 940 millibars. At 254 deaths, 150 of those were in the United States. $68.7 billion in damage, and it impacted New York with flooding and widespread power outages. Hurricane Helene is at number 4. Not only was Helene a powerful hurricane at landfall, the impact it made with hundreds, if not thousands, of miles inland will be what we most remember. Hurricane Helene was the deadliest U.S. hurricane since Katrina, and had devastating flooding in North Carolina and Tennessee. Its maximum speeds were 140 miles an hour. Its lowest pressure was 939 millibars. It had 248 deaths in the United States, and it had $78.7 billion in damages. It has infrastructure effects still today, and at least 4 million people lost power in this hurricane. At the number 3 spot is Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Dorian was a slow-moving Category 5 storm that destroyed many Bahama Islands. It was the strongest modern-day Atlantic hurricane at landfall, and its maximum speeds were 185 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 910 millibars. Its official death total was 74, but many think the true death total exceeds 600. $3.4 billion in estimated damage, and over 70,000 people left homeless. Stay tuned in the coming months. We may have more on Dorian and other storm to come here at Keen Weather News. Perhaps no storm has had a bigger effect on the United States than our storm checking in on the runner-up spot. Hurricane Katrina is our number 2 storm. It was the deadliest hurricane in modern day history. It was tied for the costliest Atlantic hurricane, and its maximum speeds were 175 miles an hour, and its lowest pressure was 902 millibars. There was 1,392 confirmed fatalities and potentially up to 1,836. It had catastrophic impacts on Louisiana and Mississippi, taking more than a decade to recover. The top spot on our list of the strongest hurricanes since 2000 is Hurricane Maria. Even though America had limited impact from the storm, what it did elsewhere will be forever remembered. It was the deadliest Atlantic hurricane in modern era. It had widespread devastation in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Its maximum speeds were 175 miles per hour, and its lowest pressure was 908 millibars. At 3,059 deaths, and it had $91.6 billion in damages. It was the costliest hurricane in Puerto Rican and Dominican history. It destroyed the Puerto Rican power grid, leaving 95% of the island without power and half of the population without water. Keen Weather News plans to log a special report this summer live from areas Maria impacted. Stay tuned as we bring you the best weather for kids on the internet.